Craig?
All right, so here's the Auburn schedule. I don't know how in-depth we'll get because I didn't know what we were going to be doing, but that's all right. So I just want to have the checklist of like who they don't play and everything. But things open up on Friday, August the 29th, and we're just taking a look at schedules and going through everybody's. And here we are. We're at the final conference that we'll be doing, and we've already done Alabama, so now it's on to Auburn. But as we discussed a little while earlier, road trip against Baylor will start the year on Friday, August the 29th for Hugh Freeze and his Tigers. Then the following week, Ball State, followed by South Alabama. And then Saturday, September 20th, the start of SEC play at Oklahoma, followed by at Texas A&M. A very jam-packed first month of the season for the Tigers. Road trips to Waco and to Norman and to College Station. So they'll be heading this direction quite a bit in those first 5 weeks. Ball State and South Alabama, grab a couple wins there. But outside of that, that's your 2 home games in your first 5, and the rest of these are road trips. So this could get dicey early on for Auburn, and then again, could, if things fall well, be a really great start to the season, but they're going to have to walk a couple of landmines at least early on, it appears.
If they were 4-1, I wouldn't be all, that would be maybe a little bit more surprising to me, but I think that they, if they are certainly improved, but this could be 2-3 to start for Hugh Freeze. I mean, look, Baylor, Oklahoma, and A&M are all good teams, and they're all on the road, and, it could very well be that. And I think, like I said earlier, we'll know a lot more about Auburn and Baylor than maybe we would in most years open that up because of, where those teams are. But, yeah, I think this could be – I don't think it'll be 2-3, but it could very well be 2-3.
So then after they get their first break following that Texas A&M game, it is on to October the 11th, and they are at home for their first SEC contest, and it'll be the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yee-hee.
So –
that's far.
So much forgiveness. Wait, did you say forgiveness like far? Or forgiveness like forgiveness? Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Forgiveness.
I'm hearing far.
Forgiveness. Like forgiveness. Forgiveness? Forgiveness.
I'm still hearing far, but whatever.
Introducing Stealth 2 with more carbon for more forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Just hit it.
TaylorMade Golf.
UGA and Kirby Smart on October the 11th. Then return home the following week. It'll be Missouri there at home. And then back on the road, October the 25th, Arkansas up next, followed by a return home to face off with Kentucky on Saturday, November the 1st. And then a road trip to Vanderbilt on Saturday, November the 8th before they get to their second and final bye week. So that first stretch, 3 road games and 5 contests, 2 Baylor, 2 Oklahoma, 2 Texas A&M. And that next phase, just a couple road trips and 3 home games. But you'll be going to Fayetteville and to Nashville, and you'll host Georgia, Missouri, Kentucky. So that's got a couple of – Georgia's the big name there. The rest of them are all winnable. They're all losable as well. But I think that's where you maybe make up some ground if you have a rough start.
Yeah, for sure.
Think about that. Oklahoma, A&M, Georgia, back to – and Missouri, didn't they win 10 games last year or whatever they did? Then you have –
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Then you have the foursome coming up. Oh, there's a bye week before Craig gets to one of those non-conference games they stick it in. But that's kind of a relief, and yet nothing might be because you don't know if Vanderbilt's going to be as good. Kentucky, like you said earlier today, is Stoops is starting to fade with momentum, and Arkansas with Sam Pittman, who knows?
Yeah, no, I think that, this could be get you back on track. But, if you can walk out of 3-2 and then maybe wind up 3-3 and then hit something on the back end, that could be something. I don't think anybody's expecting Auburn to contend for the SEC title, but they have to be better. They have to get to a semi-decent bowl game to really start creating some buzz. Otherwise, what's Hugh Freeze even doing?
So then after the second bye week, they will have 2 weeks to prepare for the that strenuous late season non-con gauntlet that the SEC puts itself through. So you're going to need 2 weeks to prepare for Mercer on November the 22nd.
Hey, that I'm telling you, that's asking a lot.
But then that'll be justified because, it's not just them. It's the team that comes after Alabama in the Iron Bowl on Saturday, November the 29th. So we'll have 2 weeks ahead of Mercer and then Bama. Both of those games are at home. 3 of their last 4 are at home. And you also have the bye week sandwiched in there between. So they won't leave for a road trip past November the 8th when they go to Nashville to play Vanderbilt. So that's, I think, something that could maybe play into their favor, even though they only play a couple games. But, I mean, they'll be able to be happy at home there for that 3-week stretch. And who knows what that leads into potentially. I think a lot will be determined by the early part of that schedule. That Baylor game, for example, right out of the gates on a Friday night, that is their only non-Saturday game. So, that's the big non-con for them. And then Ball State, South Alabama, Mercer are just kind of what they may be any given year. But not the easiest schedule in the world, not the craziest schedule. I'm trying to think, like, they don't play Texas, for example.
LSU, Florida.
They don't play LSU or Florida. This is typically where I'd have done that cross-check. They don't play Tennessee.
South Carolina.
So those are some of the teams they don't play. But there you go. There's the Auburn schedule with Hugh Freeze under a little bit of pressure.
Hey, Mercer was 11-3 last year.
Yeah, well.
They lost to Alabama, got blown out, but lost at the end to North Dakota State in the postseason. They were 11-3 last year. Now, again, those are they're playing against that FCS schedule, but that's not bad.
Well,
I mean, you're not careful.
If you want a good news, bad news situation on the schedule for Auburn, travel-wise, all their hard trips are in the first month. The longer ones. They go to, Texas twice and Oklahoma once. And then, Arkansas and Tennessee are not, those are little puddle jumps essentially. So they're fine there. But their big trips are all, and it's not like, look, if the furthest place you have to go is Norman or College Station, I think you're not really complaining that much if you're an Auburn fan.
Yep. All right. So there you go. There's the schedule, but it'd be interesting off the top if they can win off the top in Waco against Baylor. That sure will help. But then there's just landmines throughout. Although this seems like the backside gets a little bit easier, other than the ending. And